Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're back here again, 1 year on from when we first done our first interview with Jamie Sadlowski. Good to see you again, bud.
Yeah, you too.
How are things?
Everything's good.
Excellent. So we thought we'd stop by and do a little bag recap, little update with Jamie and see what's fresh. Srixon have got some new irons that literally just released. I think yesterday was about the first official day for pictures, etc. And you've not had them much longer than that?
They've been in the bag a day.
Right, okay.
Safe to say.
So far so good?
Yeah, very good.
So a little custom work, I can see
little loft and
lie adjustments already.
Yep.
Looks wise, straight away.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, to me, the top line looks a little bit thinner. Obviously, with the sole, gets through the ground pretty good. I'm kind of a digger, so these get through the sole really good. Very soft.
Right.
Come from one piece of material and not a bunch, so they're very soft, very forgiving for a blade. And then the wedges, the new RTX 4s. Pretty much every club in here is new other than the driver and the 2-iron. So from irons to wedges. I got the new U85 3-iron.
Okay.
I still carry the 2-iron in the old version, 18 degree. But I'll work into the new one here pretty quick. Mostly just shaft combo that I haven't gotten right with it yet.
And when we got together last year, you were saying to me, this is really my 3-wood.
Yeah.
Is it a little stronger, Jamie?
No, that's actually at 18.
Is that genuinely at 18?
Yeah, I've messed around with bending them and stuff like that, but I find playing the actual loft, you know, I don't like looking at a bunch of offsets.
No, for sure.
Yeah, but it's obviously a very important club in my bag.
And that for you is about 290.
I'll probably, I'll hit it between anywhere from 280 to about 3.
Okay. So I mean, you can see, guys, this is where obviously set optimization really matters. You know, you've got something like the new blade, which is so thin.
Yeah. Then
the 3-iron is the complete opposite, but it's just help where you need it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of par 5s that don't allow me to hit a driver or they're long tee shots. So, you know, I'm going to hit the odd 3-iron into greens. I want it going up in the air and want something forgiving. So, yeah, I mean, it's a 3-iron. It's got my same iron shafts I have. It's just a little more forgiving. Help me get it up in the air, spin it a little bit more.
So with the iron set being so new, would you say you still really have to do your work to get those dialed in? You've been given a set of your baseline numbers, but really over the next few weeks you'll get that dialed in?
Yeah, I mean, there's honestly, like, just looking down at them today for the first time, I mean, they look very similar, so something I'm obviously very comfortable with, but you know, as far as, you know, I've been messing around with shafts actually. These are kind of a prototype.
New prototype, I noticed that.
So it's more so working with the shafts, and you know, the heads are good, and I know they're going to perform very similar to what I was playing before, a little softer. But it's mostly just the shafts that, you know, I'll do a lot of work on, making sure flight numbers, spin numbers are all good. What
did you think when they first gave you RTX 4?
They're good. Thoughts? They're a little bit smaller in my opinion.
Nicer profile.
Nicer profile, a little cleaner. To me, a little skinnier, closer to the hosel, which I like. But again, very soft, versatile, different bounces. But yeah, they're really good. Obviously,
last year when we were looking at this stuff, V-sole was very prominent in RTX 3.
Yep.
Here you've kind of got two that don't have V-sole. You've got one that has a bit of V-sole, so you're using it where you need it and where you want it.
Yeah, I think, I mean, your wedges, you just don't hit your wedges 1 yardage. So, you know, I kind of, you know, when I do my work, I try to have 3 different shots with each wedge. So whether you're bumping, you know, around the greens or hitting 3/4 shots or quarter shots or, you know, whatever. So the soles I have on these, I find perform the best for me in different situations, different grasses. And
you've had a little custom work done specifically to the 60, little toe relief.
Yeah.
Has a little toe and heel relief.
Toe and heel.
Okay.
I mean, it's at 61 degrees. I've never carried a 64 degree. So that golf club allows me to, you know, open it up to where I got toe relief, heel relief. You can, you know, stand it up on its toe and hit a shot, or stand it up on its heel. So yeah, I've always been a C grind guy in the 60 degree.
Big time. So I've been interested in that it has, in the center, it's full sole width. Obviously when you're playing it square, but when you're in playing those specialist shots, you can tilt it, you can drop the handle in the bunker.
Yeah, you got essentially two edges. You can use, you know, stab it into the leading edge or use the back bounce. So it allows me to hit different shots, and you know, being versatile with that club is so important. I mean, I don't have room for a 64 degree, and this one can perform just as good. So
that's so important, isn't it, to have that versatility where you can play multiple different shots with
Definitely, yeah. You can use the bounce or you can use the leading edge. So yeah, it's versatile. You can hit any kind of shot, high, low, you know, flop or kind of a trap chaser. So just allows you to do a lot more.
Big dog, new shaft?
New shaft, yeah. I was in the nunchuck for a while and then kind of migrated into this a few months ago, and it's brought spin numbers down, flight down a little bit, and a little more consistent for me.
Yeah.
So.
And that's interesting because you're saving a little bit of weight. Obviously, nunchuck was a bit heavier
than
that.
108 grams, I believe, and we're 85 in this.
With a slightly higher balance point. Have you got a little hot melt or anything in there just to kind of balance that back out?
Yeah, I believe they do. I mean, the head sounds a little bit different.
Right.
It's not quite as loud, so there's definitely hot melt in there, maybe closer to face, just to bring the flight down.
Right. Okay, but same head as
last year? Same head, yeah, still 7 1/4.
Yeah, because I remember we were talking about it last year. Launcher had just relaunched at the show, and that was the big thing for you, and you know, your kind of role within the brand was part of this, and that stayed in the bag, which is great to see. Obviously working well for you.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm driving it straight, and that's, you know, I've got the distance, so you know it's about hitting it straight and forward, and that allows me to do it.
And how's that kind of, again, you know, another year of tournament golf under your belt? How's that transition kind of been?
It helps. I mean, I had a pretty poor year last year, but I think it's growing pains, and you know, I've changed some stuff in my swing and kind of went back to what I used to do, so it's more natural, more free flowing, and my game's a lot better right now than it was, you know, 4 or 5 months ago. So
love to hear
ready to start the year.
Okay, well, we're going to have a little bit of fun and hit some drivers.
Sure.
We've got our quad here, so so let's get some numbers.
All right.
I think one thing we maybe missed a little bit there was the new golf ball.
Oh yeah, new golf ball.
I mean, we can't kind of we can't go too far without referencing that, because you and I talked a little bit earlier on that there are some subtle differences, and you said you're spinning it a little bit more now. Yeah,
so 6th generation of the XV. What it allows, like I've noticed about, you know, a mile and a half to 2 miles an hour more ball speed.
Wow.
So it's coming off, you know, 2 cores, so you got, you know, a firmer core and then a softer core, but you know, a little more speed off the driver. No spin. I find the spin is very similar to the old XV, but what I noticed was, you know, softer shots. This one spins a little bit more. It's a little bit softer around the green, so a little more receptive. And you know, when you're trying to hit field shots and stuff like this, I find this ball reacts a little bit better.
And you were saying acoustics for you, this has played a bit of a role because it sounds a little bit softer.
Yeah, definitely, especially on short shots. You know, it doesn't quite have that firmness to it. It's a little bit softer, and you know, it still performs the same way. It's not like it launches way up in the air. I mean, it's essentially the same ball. It just got a little more spin where you want it, chipping around the greens and out of the rough and stuff like that.
And that sort of feeling and sort of, you know, sound is so important around the green, just to feel like you can play those delicate shots when you're short-sided. You
don't want to be thinking, you know, when you're short-sided you got a firm ball and you can't spin it, you know, so it's very receptive and does exactly what you want it to do.
Very cool. All right, let's hit a couple.
All right.
So club, 134, ball speed, 194. There's a fly on that one. Okay, 342. All right.
As long as it's 4, that'll work.
What's your gamer numbers launch and spin wise with the driver?
You know, I've kind of taken it down a little bit. It used to be 14 now.
Is that right?
I kind of even I did something with Cam Champ a little while ago, and he was launching at 7. So if you could live in that 7 area,
you'd be okay.
Yeah, as long as the spin's enough to keep it airborne, I mean, I don't mind launching it low.
The thing is, and we talk a lot about this with our guys, when you have so much velocity, you know, people don't realize velocity is the main factor in the up.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as much of the launch and the spin. There's so much forward motion.
Force, yeah.
That was 11.2, 2300.
Yeah. So like, if I try to, you know, bring it down a little bit, it might spin a little bit more.
Sure.
But a little more of a controlled shot. So a little lower.
Squeezed a little bit more, another little bit of ball speed at that. I mean, it's such an advantage for you to get ball speeds like that.
Yeah, especially if you can control it. Like that launched at 8. Speed is 195. I mean, spinning 2300s flat.
Yeah.
So it's not going to do, especially days like today where it's howling. I mean, you don't want that golf ball up in the air at all.
No,
just
absolutely
too much that can go wrong with it.
And you've got your little squeeze cut that you're playing with.
It's always like under the gun, you hit that little squeezer and not ever worry about left.
This is awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time, bud. That was really
my pleasure.
Good. Next year we'll be back to look at what's in the bag for 2020. Guys, this is it's always a treat for us to come and do this with Jamie and see what he's got going on. Such a unique bag to kind of dive into, and obviously more good product coming from Cleveland Srixon all the time, so this has been fun.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you again soon.